In my previous video, link in the description, I've introduced JSON Resume. I truly believe it's the last resume you'll ever need. If you have never heard of it, watch my first video or read about JSON Resume on its website directly. Link also in the description. In this video, I'll show how to work with JSON Resume's data and where to put it to make use of many free templates available. While it may look techy, I promise you, there is no real tech skill required. Let's start with the JSON resume exported in my previous video from the LinkedIn profile. Since it's a JSON format, it would be best to use an editor suited to edit JSON files. My go-to editor for this type of task is Visual Studio Code, but since I promised no tech skill required, I also won't require you to install anything. Luckily, there is an online editor available. Using your favorite browser, navigate to this URL, vscode.dev. If this is the first time you're using this editor, you should see something like this. By far, the easiest way to start from here is top right, File, New Text File, and paste the resume JSON exported previously from your LinkedIn. Notice the text is nicely formatted, colored, and you can even collapse sections if needed. With more, Visual Studio Code Online also supports auto-completion, which I will demonstrate as I make changes to my resume. Let's start with work experience. As fun as working for famous YouTubers Incorporated was, I decided to move on. I joined Trendy TikTokers Limited. Let me amend my resume to represent this change. First, I'll copy-paste the entire work history section. Then, update the company name, position, summary, and start and end date fields. Now, I'll scroll down and I'll add a new skill. Editing YouTube videos seems adequate. And finally, I'll mention a project I worked on. Releasing an instructional YouTube video sounds about right. Notice the editor is helping me by suggesting what fields are available. Notice also there are multiple other sections available. Feel free to experiment here. After all editing is done, and I'm happy with my resume, the next step is making it available online, so it can be displayed using one of the multiple available themes. First, we need a Github Gists account, link in the description. It will require a GitHub account. Setting it up is no different than creating any other account, so I won't be doing it in this video. I'll use an account I already have. To make the resume viewable, all you need to do is create an empty resume.json file. Now, copy-paste the JSON resume from the editor we just used to edit it. Once done, click Create. Please note, the default is secret. To make it visible, we need to create a public gist. Also note that making it public makes it visible to all the internet. It's very similar to making your LinkedIn profile public, but do note that there are some information that LinkedIn will never disclose, so if you don't want them disclosed, do not include them in your resume. You can always change the visibility of your gist at any time in the future. I'll go ahead and save mine now. Before I continue, I'll also need to make sure I know what my GitHub username is. I can see it both by clicking in the top right or in the URL. Once the file is saved, navigate to jasonresume.org/themes, link in the description, and see which theme works best for you. To see my resume, I simply need to replace the part of a URL to point to my resume like this. And here is what my resume looks like with a different theme. I'm now able to share a link to my resume or create a PDF out of it by simply printing the web page and selecting Save as PDF as a destination. Voila! A fully working JSON resume.